so good. You would never know that I love physics, maybe. I love physics and math. I'm a math science person, guys. I'm also a language arts person. I'm just a homeschool mom person because we do it all. We do it all. Hi, my name is Leilani, and in this video I'm going to share with you my homeschool convention haul. I'm going to talk about some of the speakers, some of my favorite speakers, and give you a little bit of a review, and I'm going to give you some of my takeaways, some of my favorite vendors. Now the Fpea, that's the Florida Parent Education Association, they have a huge conference in May, and it's comparable to other conferences such as Teach Them Diligently, the Great Homeschool Convention. I mean, it's huge. We probably had 1,000 vendors, tons of speakers. I mean, Andrew Pudewa, Connie Albers, Ginger Hubbard. We had Moms for America come in, Dr. Jason Lisle, and Governor DeSantis and Ben Carson. I mean, it was big. It was a big conference, lots of security, and I absolutely loved it. I was super duper, like, kind of a little bit too much excited. I think I scared a person that recognized me from the channel because I literally dropped my luggage. I'm not that crazy, I promise. I mean, I was away from my kids. I was with my husband in a really nice resort and around my people. I was around my people, my homeschool posse. And they have a special needs conference in October, which is like even more my tribe. Oh, and I also found out that some of the people that are in charge of the Fpea are leaders in my co-op, and I didn't even realize this, guys. Didn't know this, and they know me. I didn't know they know me. Next time I do this, I want to volunteer. And yes, I just said that. Suzanne, if you're watching, I want to volunteer. Not for any other reason except that I just want to help. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys my homeschool haul. This video is going to be really good for those that want to see what I bought, and also for those of you that are looking into conferences and speakers and wondering what the best ones are if you're debating between and what to expect, because there are some that you may expect something different and you might get something that you didn't expect, you know, those kind of things. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and some vendors that you might want to slow down and walk by and check out a little bit more in depth if you recognize their name from this video. So let's start with the haul. So I'm going to start with the books for the youngest, and these are the Adventures of Harry and Friends. Now it's a series of books, and what I loved about these when I first looked at it is the bright colors, and I knew that this was really going to get Naomi's attention. There's Harry, and this is The Day I Met My Best Friend right here. What I love about these is each of these, they're character traits. Now, the author and her husband own a martial arts school, so a lot of these character traits come from some of the characteristics of martial arts, some of the stuff they teach in martial arts. So this one is a lesson of acceptance, who you are. This one is on focus and self-control. This one is a lesson on responsibility. This is a lesson on overcoming anger and envy, overcoming fear, a lesson in perseverance, and this one is the What Should I Do book. They also come with a Christmas activity book, an attitude of gratitude for Christmas. I love this because it's about growing young minds, character building. It's not just one of those books that you just read and there's really no moral or lesson behind it. I also love how the character grows through the story. I learned that there's a lot of depth with these characters, and so the kids can kind of grow with the characters, read the book several times. I know that when I got home, my girls were completely enthralled by it. My 10-year-old grabbed the books and said they're mine and ran off and put them in her room, and her brother actually went in there, grabbed them later on, and read through all of them already. I also really connected with the author. She's Good People's, so you have to go check out their website. I'm gonna stick it in the link below. Her name is Sarah Belise Tucker. She's an award-winning author, so make sure and go check that out. Once again, description box. Moving up in age. Every year I see Chuck Black. Like, he's always at our conventions, it seems like. He does talks on how to write books, narratives. He's a Christian author, fiction author. I've always wanted these books, and I said one day when my kids are old enough, I'm just gonna buy all of them. I didn't buy all of them. I bought some of them because I want to make sure my kids like them. These are called The Kingdom's Call, and so there's 6 of them. They parallel through Genesis to Revelation. They're set in the Middle Ages. Now, I said to his wife who was selling them to me at the time, I was like, I'm gonna give them to my son. He's gonna just suck them down, because that's what my son does. She stopped me and said, these are good read-alouds. And she should know, I mean, she's the wife of the author, and she has a background in teaching English and language arts. I think we're gonna do them as read-alouds. She also showed me in the back of the book some discussion questions to help you and your kids go deeper. And if anybody plays a song, they have a theme song for the books, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm actually kind of curious. I might have to sit down and figure this one out. Theme song. Now I get to read them because we're doing read aloud. So curiosity for 7 years now, plus it's been over 7 years. And now I get to like find out what they're about. So looking forward to this. So this is the next book I got. So this is the Israel course. Now, with a Messianic background, I'll just be like straight up with you guys. There are not many resources out there. Like there's not, especially for kids. And you still have to be very, very careful with the resources that you pursue, because there are a lot of people that claim to be Messianic, but it's a little sketchy. So you have to be very careful. But this one seemed pretty simple. It seemed like it was a survey of the history of modern day Israel. And it is something that I really want to focus on and teach with my kids. So they said it was mainly for high school, but because of the background that my kids have and the discussions that we have, I feel like it's gonna be fine for all my kids as kind of a unit study. So when I went through the table of contents, just to throw some things out there, it's not just a survey on the history of Israel, but it seems to be a way to connecting with the Jewish people. So it talks about who the Jews are based on scripture, and then it will get into like the 6-Day War, you know, the Holocaust. It talks about Palestine under the British Mandate, the Ottoman Empire, Palestine, and the Ottoman Empire, Zionism, Jewish under threat. And we also have over here peace with Egypt, the First Lebanon War, Yom Kippur Wars, I think I said that 6-Day War. Just, there you go, right there. Nice little survey. Now, I'm not sure if I'm gonna agree with everything that this book teaches, but if I see it and I disagree, I'll just kind of filter through that with my kids and we'll discuss it, because this is something that our family, when it comes to Messianic Judaism, we're gonna confront a lot of differences in opinions based on what we believe, and we have to be able to stand firm. Being a part of the Messianic community, Messianic Jewish community, is not easy sometimes. We're like a bridge. We work very closely with the Christian churches, and we try to reach out to the Jewish community, and a lot of the Jewish community don't see us as real Jews. So this is something we need to know, and it's a good, like I said, survey. We, as a family, we're gonna go deeper, and I'll let you know how this book is. Now, the next thing I'm gonna talk about, I'm very hesitant to talk about the purchase that I made. So let me tell you. All right, look, I always want to be honest with you guys. I want to be honest with my reviews that I give you. I want to be honest with the affiliates that I sign on with. And I want to be honest with our journey. When things don't work, great, I gotta tell you. When things do work, I want to tell you too. However, with that being said, everybody, and I say this over and over again, everybody as a homeschool parent has the freedom to choose what they want to choose for their family, and one curriculum is not going to work for everybody. I said this before, like, Good and the Beautiful. It's not gonna work for us, but it's gonna work for somebody else. It's not a bad curriculum, it's just not our thing. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a good curriculum for your family, for each and every family. And that's the gift that we have, is we get to pick out the curriculum that we want to use for our kids, if we pick out a curriculum at all. So here's the thing. I want to learn Spanish. I know. It's like, it will make sense. Why? My husband, Puerto Rican family. Okay. So we partnered with Homeschool Spanish Academy. It has kickstarted our way to learning Spanish. I would never regret any of the work that I've done with them. I'm going to keep using them as well. It is also great for the high school, for the families that have high schoolers that need to get their foreign language credits, but they don't want to use the virtual school, and they do want them to learn the actual language and have a tutor, and the flexibility that, I mean, it is a great organization. The only thing that I'm struggling with is it is very set up with a school mentality. And it's good, but I feel like I just need to try something else or a little something more, okay? So that's where I ran into TalkBox Mom. I love the creator of TalkBox Mom. I told her everything. I told her my whole situation. So TalkBox Mom is a language learning program, and you have to work. Like, it's not like a here, hand it over and walk away kind of thing as a parent. It's literally you are going to have to work and remember to be using these phrases in your household. And it's teaching you very homeschool-esque how to speak the fluent language in your home. So you start off with simple phrases, like the first challenge, we have to learn tengo hambre, tienes hambre, tengo mucha hambre. Those are some of the phrases. And you're having conversations with your kids because, I mean, how many times a day do we ask our kids if they're hungry? And how many times a day do our kids like actually tell us, like, I'm hungry, okay? And they tell us if they're a little hungry, a lot hungry, or not hungry at all. They tell us these things. So that's the first challenge, and you work on those phrases. There's things you put up on your house as you're working through them, and they don't have you worry about grammar at all. There's an app that goes with it. There's an accountability group that goes with it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this alongside the Homeschool Spanish Academy because I need to go deeper. And so I did. I purchased Talk Box Mom Spanish box, which is in the mail right now. So I don't have it to show you right now, but I do have the app. There it is. That's it. Right there. That's it. They don't just have Spanish. They also have, you know, Hebrew and Japanese. I think they had Portuguese. I know they have French. They just got a ton of languages. And she went in there and tried to find what the native speakers would actually say in their household and gave that to the homeschool parent to teach in their homes. So the first box is all about food and snacks. And I think the second box is the on the go, like things that you say, activities that you do. I think that's what it is. Either way, I'm really looking forward to trying it out. If it doesn't work, then I've got Homeschool Academy to fall back on, which is a great company. Don't get me wrong. And they're working. Which in fact, Abuela said to me, as she was watching my kids, by the way, Abuela said to me that she was talking to her husband in Spanish and my kids understood her. And she realized at that moment she can no longer speak in Spanish around my kids without them figuring out what she's saying. So that just messed that up. Isn't learning a language fun? Now I'm going to talk about the speakers and the vendors that I ran into. So of course, IEW was there. I didn't take footage, guys, but I took pictures. So I'm gonna show you some pictures as we go. IEW was there. I met Andrew Pudewa, actually the second time I've met him. And Andrew Pudewa is amazing, so if you see him ever at a convention, you have to talk to him. Because when you talk to him, it makes you feel like you're talking to your best friend and you've known him forever. He has that kind of personality. His talks are amazing. They're very insightful. Even if you don't use IEW, it's worth checking his stuff out, seriously. Andrew Pudewa, he even made like a video for my kids. He's like, here, take a video of my face right here. Take a video. And he talked directly to my kids, telling them that he's so sorry for making them struggle. And my son, who's so funny, was like, I watched that video and he was saying, struggling, making me suffer? Oh, no. IEW is fun. Anyway, that's just one of my boys. My other boy was like, okay, enough about IEW and Andrew Pudewa. Teaching textbooks was there. I ran into some people there, talked to them. Erin, we took a picture. I also ran into Jessica from the Walduck Way. That was awesome. She has another YouTube channel and actually learned about all of the stuff she actually puts together. Didn't know this. Check out her channel. I also ran into Vanny from Miss Mom Homeschool. She lives in the state of Florida as well. I know Abby Rooted and Rest usually is there, but she wasn't there this year because she's having a baby. Next year, Abby. We got a plan. I also met Larry the Cucumber. Mike Naraki. I hope I said it right. But I met him. That was cool. That was fun. I also met Connie Alberts, Ginger Hubbard, and I met Dr. Jason Lisle. Forgot to mention, I bought his book. I'm like, how can I forget? This book is for me, guys, not for my kids. The Physics of Einstein, and it's meaty. So good. You would never know that I love physics, maybe. I love physics and math. I'm a math science person, guys. I'm also a language arts person. I'm just a homeschool mom person. Because we do it all. We do it all. I wanted to explain some of his teachings are probably not what you're going to expect when you're going to a homeschool convention. When you go to his talks, guys, it is going to be good, solid, biblical science stuff. Okay, he's going to talk about fractals. He's going to talk about creation and dinosaurs. He's going to talk about the planets and the solar system and the moon. He's going to talk about that stuff. He's not going to teach you how to homeschool science. He's going to talk about stuff that your high schooler might be interested in, college students might be interested in, and the parents that want to know more about science. It's kind of a little break away from the homeschool stuff, but he's got homeschool curriculum that he sells there, and he is amazing and worth seeing, but you have to know what you're getting yourself into when you walk into one of his teachings. I did also mention Ginger Hubbard. I did buy something of hers. And I also went to one of her teachings. And Ginger Hubbard is just amazing across the board with her teachings. However, I will say this, okay? My experience with her, I got her book, Don't Make Me Count to 3, years ago, like years ago. And I kind of took it very legalistic. I read it, I tried to implement it, like trying to get it in my head so I could be like this as a parent. And when I failed at being like that as a parent, I was so angry and frustrated to the point where I felt like the book was constantly shaming me and convicting me, and I felt like I just couldn't do it. I couldn't parent like this. And I actually, I threw the book away. I went to biblical discipline. It reminded me a lot of the stuff, and it reminded me that I can't do this. It's not going to be perfect, but I can't do this, even with the middle schooler and the upper elementary and the third grader. I did buy her Wise Words for Moms. It looks like a little calendar, so I ripped everything up and laminated it, and I have it sitting in my kitchen to reference when I need to. And right now, we've been going through this for a few days, and my kids look at me like I'm crazy. This was in the book, by the way, and I kind of wish I had this, so it would have given me more peace of mind, I think. Anyway, so like your kid wants to have revenge, they're taking revenge out on each other. You have some heart probes. What would Jesus do? What would Yeshua do? How can you honor Yeshua, Jesus, and bless this person who has wronged you? There are some reproofs, some biblical stuff here. Do not say, I'll pay you back for the wrong. Wait for the Lord, and he will deliver you. That's from Proverbs 20 and 22. And there's some encouragement, put on. So put off, put on. So put off the bad stuff, put on the good stuff, and then some additional verses here. So we are starting to implement this in my household here and there. My kids, like I said, think I'm crazy, but I also know that I'm not perfect and it's not going to come across every single time. In fact, when I was having these feelings about, some past feelings about Ginger Hubbard and how I was frustrated with her book, and I noticed she also has a book called Guiltless Living, which actually talks about some of her confessions. It says she drops the act and gets real in this brutally honest look at the seldom admitted, rarely talked about sin of the heart. So I'm wondering if something like that would be good for me to read, knowing that I did take that book very legalistic. Like, I have to be this way to be the perfect parent. And that's not the case, because nobody's a perfect parent. Baby steps. I'm excited to implement this, and I enjoyed Ginger Hubbard. Very good talk, very convicting, and I liked it. So I did hear this amazing speaker. Her name was Danny, and she was from the Nectar Group. She is amazing. In fact, my friend said she's been looking for this woman for 25 years. The Nectar Group. So the Nectar Group works with kids with cognitive delays, autism, ADHD, on and on. These are my people. So they don't have a curriculum per se, but what they do have is some assessment services, consulting, tutoring. This is actually, I'll show you one of their little pamphlets. And they work with homeschoolers. Those classes that she taught were intense. It was like a download of information in my brain, and I was going crazy taking notes. She did a whole workshop on neuroplasticity of the brain. She did an ADHD and focusing workshop. She did a workshop on executive functioning. She did another one on dyslexia. And just the information, it's like I wrote it down, and now I just have to do research off of that. If the Nectar Group comes to your homeschool convention and you have a child that has dyslexia, dyspraxia, any of those learning disabilities or autism, ADHD, any of that, go to their talks and bring paper and bring a pencil and get busy writing stuff down. You blow your mind. It's a lot of good stuff, guys. A lot of good stuff. And a lot of aha moments. If you live in the state of Florida, I'm going to talk to you about this one specifically, okay? Brenda Dickinson is there with the Home Education Foundation. So HEF, H-E-F. She is our lobbyist. If you don't know who she is, I'm going to put her website in the description box below. You need to go you need to go look at her stuff, donate, give her money, because she's the one that's keeping things amazing in the state of Florida, okay? I'm just gonna leave it at that. I went to her booth, I've talked to her, I love her tremendously. She just told me about all the stuff that's going on in the government in regards to homeschooling and the Gardner, well, which is now Empowerment Scholarship, just all the little details and things that I can do to help, because I literally sat there, I'm like, how can I help? One way is by donating to her organization, because this donation is her income. She lobbies for us. More on the legal side of things, I did go to the Homeschool Legal Defense. They're amazing. They're all American, all America, Homeschool Legal Defense attorneys. I went to their talk, 10 things that have been a problem in the state of Florida and they've had to intervene. Really good talk, especially I'm a homeschool evaluator, and I needed to know these things because I have a lot of parents asking me very strange questions. Not very strange, they're important questions, but they're questions that you don't hear every day. And so those questions that he did not address in the talk, I actually sat down with him afterwards and I just started drilling him. I'm like, what about this situation and this situation? What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. And I sat with him for a while and just got some really good information so I could come home with confidence when I'm talking to these parents as I'm doing these homeschool evaluations, portfolio review, testing, etc. for the state of Florida. I want to make sure I know my stuff. There you go, guys. If you need an evaluator who knows her stuff, not to toot my horn, but I just got some really good information from him and I'm very confident right now. And it's fresh, new information. Between him and Brenda Dickinson, I'm feeling confident here. Adding to that, I also spent some time looking at some high school stuff, okay? Understanding what needs to happen with high schoolers in the state of Florida. Obviously, not much. You don't even have to give them a diploma, like physical diploma. No, you just need to homeschool them. And I've also learned that in the state of Florida, homeschool is recognized as graduating high school. I learned a lot about high school credit, writing transcripts, what can be included if you want to go to a good college, what's necessary, what's not necessary, what you have to have, what you don't really have to have. I learned all those things. I spent some time going to some of those talks. So amazing stuff, guys. I did my job as a homeschool evaluator and got some good info. The Fpea is for both secular and Christian. So you're going to get a mix of both of those kind of talks. Like I mentioned, you have Dr. Jason Lisle, but then you also have Homeschool Legal Defense and the Nectar Group, which are secular, so to speak. With that being said, there are a lot of politics. Things that were coming in. I mean, we had a whole row in the vendor hall of just political groups. Boom, 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 straight down. And we had Dr. Ben Carson come and speak, and Governor Ron DeSantis. That's a big deal. I also went to a talk by Keisha King, which was from Moms for America. She talked on critical race theory. It was so good. My husband dragged me to it. It wasn't much of a drag, though. It was actually a really good talk. I don't like to keep politics on my channel, but homeschooling has a lot of politics behind it. It does. So it's good to be on my toes and aware of what's going on, especially since I'm doing evaluations and especially since I want to support special needs homeschool education, homeschoolers. I want to support that in the state of Florida and across the nation. The state of Florida is one of the leaders in the state of Florida when it comes to the homeschooling movement. We're also very homeschool friendly. It doesn't sound like we are, but we are. Especially since most of the evaluators down here are not scary at all. I'm not scary, and we homeschool ourselves. I mean, you have so much support and the law is on your side. So I think that about sums it up. My name's Leilani. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section down below about any of these people. If you are looking for someone in specific, any of the books, the links, the websites, etc., they're in the description box. I'll leave you some nice information there if you're looking for something particular. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe because I know I'm in the state of Florida, but I'm here for all of you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.